When a digital influencer who used to rule the internet suddenly loses 95% of their following, what happens? This is the shocking truth that Andrew Tate, a person who is known for his controversy, bluster, and self-proclaimed achievement, must face. His rapid fall in popularity not only represents a startling change in the number of followers, but it also underscores a significant shift in the dynamics of digital power and cultural expectations. As we examine the causes of this decrease, it is evident that Tate's narrative should serve as a warning to influencers negotiating the tricky landscape of public perception, social media accountability, and the always changing concept of masculinity. The rise of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate gained fame by combining outspoken views, a lavish lifestyle, and a presence that combined bluster with self-described business and manly knowledge. His messages were mostly disseminated via his social media accounts, especially TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. He gained millions of followers with a constant stream of content that included anything from inspirational lectures to frequently sexist remarks. He was appealing because he portrayed himself as a prosperous businessman and former kickboxer, projecting confidence that appealed to many young men looking for direction in a world that was becoming more and more chaotic. Tate promoted a lifestyle of riches, athleticism, and assertiveness while positioning himself as a mentor. This fostered a loyal fan base that appreciated his unrepentant outlook on life and his readiness to challenge societal norms, the change in public opinion. But the same qualities that powered him to success additionally opened the way for his downfall. The expectations surrounding prominent individuals and influencers changed along with society. People like Tate found it more and more difficult to sustain their prior levels of power without coming under scrutiny as a result of the surge of social media accountability. His divisive comments, especially on women, started to draw criticism from both mainstream media and the sites where he had previously flourished. A string of controversial remarks made in interviews and on social media in 2023 sparked considerable criticism. He lost a major portion of his following by being called a misogynist and a supporter of toxic masculinity by critics. This reaction demonstrated a rising intolerance for divisive speech, especially with campaigns calling for gender equality gaining popularity. The role of social media platforms. Tate's breakdown was also significantly influenced by the platforms that formerly magnified his voice. Following increasing public and advocacy group pressure, numerous social media companies started enforcing stronger policies against harassment and hate speech around the middle of 2023. Accounts that repeatedly violated community standards faced bans, and content that had previously received thousands of views was suddenly identified or removed. Tate's audience was forced to face the truth of his power when his content started to vanish from these sites. Once attracted by his bold and confident manner, followers began to doubt the morality of his teachings. As his once celebrated image became more polarizing, many people turned away from his theories. The impact of public figures and influencers. New voices entering the online world also contributed to Tate's audience fall. Influencers who offered other viewpoints on success and masculinity started to draw in the same audience Tate depended on. People like Hamza and other inspirational speakers began advocating for better and more positive methods of self-improvement, placing more value on empathy, emotional intelligence, and real connection than on materialism and rage. An audience that was growing more demanding of their role models in terms of accountability and genuineness found an impact in these fresh voices. Tate's once thriving platform seemed like it was getting out of date as younger generations realized the significance of emotional well-being and mental health challenges, a changing gender environment. In recent years, there has been a significant change in the conversation surrounding masculinity. Since ideas of toxic masculinity have been questioned, many young men are now looking for direction that is consistent with the principles of kindness, equality, and respect. The expectations surrounding male influencers have also altered as a result of this transformation, in addition to the popular content on social media. A more complex view of what it means to be a man in modern culture replaced Tate's inflexible and frequently violent depiction of masculinity. This has finally caused a major exodus from his internet platforms, leaving many former fans feeling confused and disillusioned. Controversial partnerships and public relations missteps. Tate's downfall was mostly caused by his relationships and public relations mistakes, in addition to his controversial comments. When he was at the top of his game, he was involved in a number of commercial activities, such as mentoring programs and online courses that promised wealth and success. Many of these activities, meanwhile, were then analyzed for their validity and moral implications. Tate's reputation was further damaged by a number of reports that surfaced, claiming that some of his business tactics verged on being exploitative. According to investigations, several of his misleading marketing strategies frequently targeted weaker people who were looking for financial independence. His audience started to become increasingly suspicious as reports of former followers who felt deceived or exploited emerged. Furthermore, his well-known collaborations with influencers and brands that were previously viewed as proof of his trust became problems as they distanced from him in the wake of the controversies. His reputation suffered as a result of the information provided, and many began to doubt not only his financial sense but also the sincerity of his way of life. His downfall thus turned into a warning about the perils of unlimited strength and the consequences of putting appearance before morality. The role of media coverage. Tate's downfall was also significantly influenced by media reportage. The negative narrative about him was further reinforced by investigative studies and exposures that delved into his personal life, including past legal troubles and accusations of misbehavior. Tate found it more and more challenging to uphold his image as a self-made success when mainstream media outlets started to report on his narrative. It was almost impossible for him to dominate the narrative because of the 24-hour news cycle and the emergence of platforms devoted to accountability and fact-checking. Tate's reputation among his audience worsened with every new disclosure, particularly his divisive remarks on women and relationships. Because quotations and videos from his past resurfaced and went viral, frequently with critical commentary, social media was crucial in spreading these tales. Social media sites like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter gave people a platform to express their opinions and denounce his beliefs, which fueled an increasing reaction. Any attempt by Tate to reply or elucidate his remarks was frequently overpowered by the overwhelming wave of negative sentiment because of the instantaneity of online communication. Furthermore, Tate became even more isolated, and his credibility was harmed as influential people and public personalities started to turn away from him. His fans, especially younger followers who are frequently more influenced by social media trends, started to reevaluate their support as the narrative surrounding him changed from one of a motivational figure to one of controversy and legal issues. The media hype that surrounded him demonstrated the influence of public opinion and the consequences of having a contentious image in the internet age. The boundaries that formerly enabled individuals like Tate to present an appearance of success and control started to fall apart with the advent of investigative journalism and a rapid spread of information, exposing the workings and weaknesses that lie under the surface. This change reflected a wider cultural crisis about accountability and the influence of online personas, in addition to having an impact on his brand and business endeavors. The consequences: audience participation and response. These several factors have had a significant impact. Tate's platform's audience engagement metrics have drastically decreased. Tate, who was formerly praised for his ability to garner attention and go viral, is currently having difficulty achieving the same degree of prominence. The sharp drop in social media followers is a glaring example of how rapidly public opinion can change. In order to express their dissatisfaction, former admirers resorted to social media to share their disillusionment experiences and the reasons behind their departure from Tate's beliefs. His fan base shrank as a result of this wave of criticism, which also provided a more comprehensive view of how influence is shifting in the digital era. The question of Andrew Tate's future looms big as he struggles with losing 95% of his audience. Even if he makes an effort to change his message or rebrand, the harm to his reputation might be too great to repair. For aspiring influencers, the lessons from his ascent and collapse serve as a warning. Retaining a devoted following requires authenticity, respect, and empathy. As audiences grow more discriminating and want accountability from the people they choose to follow, the digital landscape is always changing. Tate's decline emphasizes how crucial it is to adjust to these changes and be aware of the consequences of one's words and deeds in a time when anyone's voice may be reduced or boosted with a single click. Ultimately, Andrew Tate's rapid fall from fame serves as an unsettling example of how unstable the web influence can be. His audience's rapid drop is indicative of both a change in public opinion and the changing accountability norms that influencers must deal with. The old concepts of confidence and controversy are being questioned and in many cases discarded as society places a greater importance on honesty, empathy, and respect. Tate's trip serves as an example of the negative effects of divisive language and the significance of matching one's message to the audience's ideals. The lesson for aspiring influencers is straightforward: integrity and an awareness of the power of one's voice are essential for long-term success. The real leaders of the future will be those who can adjust and place a high value on genuine connection as the digital landscape changes more. Even though the age of unbridled influence is coming to an end, it also makes room for a more conscientious and humane method of influencing public opinion online. Although Andrew Tate's narrative serves as a warning, it also shows how the realm of digital influence may expand and evolve.